Hi, I'm Auden. I wanted to make a video as sort of a beginner leather worker's take on leather. Okay, I mostly use chrome tan leather, and it was really hard for me at first to find information on chrome tan leather on YouTube. I felt like it was very vegetable tan leather heavy. So this is my second time filming this video. The first time I had like 3 pages of notes, and it was like kind of like a report. And yeah, if you want to be technical, maybe check out Wikipedia, because these are just my first impressions, or not first impressions, because I've worked, with leather a little bit, I would say. There are some people who have like 40 years of experience, and that's not me. Okay, so my general impressions of chrome tan leather are that it's less expensive because it takes less time to make, and that has to do with the tanning process. You can get it in a lot of colors, and it comes in a bunch of different, so temper. Maybe I hammer this too much, but it was kind of hard for me to find this. Temper is how stiff it is. So this is some Veg Tan, and it has a firm temper. And here's some chrome tan, and it has a soft temper. It has to do with the stiffness. And then the thickness, or the weight of the leather, is measured in ounces / millimeters. 0.4 millimeters, right, is equivalent to 1 ounce of leather. And I had to look that up. I buy my leather in ounces just because that's where I shop, but some places talk about it in millimeters, and that's okay. They're interchangeable once you do the conversion. So the way I think about chrome tan leather is like, okay, so the closer you are to like the cow's natural like hide, like how it looks. So you've kind of got like, okay, so you've got aniline, has color on it, but it's not corrected, so you don't have much, like it's more natural. That is to say, you're gonna see more variation, and I think that's desirable, but that's my opinion. Aniline is also called naked. I don't think it typically has a protective coating, but it can. And then you have semi-aniline, so we're moving farther away from just like the cow's hide, okay? So semi-aniline has the color and then some correction. And my understanding of like the word correction is when they, I don't want to use the word stamp, but the way I think of it is like stamping a texture, a desirable texture into the hide. So semi-aniline, and then it does have like some protective coating properties, and that can be good, especially for bags. And I'll show you some samples in a minute. Then you've got pigmented leather, which is probably less desirable because we're getting farther from like the natural hide, okay? And that's where you're putting the color on, and then you're just like stamping the texture in to the hide. But like, I don't super have a problem with that. I ordered a whole bunch of pigmented, honestly by accident, but it's been working out for me. And here's an example of that. So you can see that like when I run my nail on it, nothing happens. And like all that is probably fake. Like this is my impression. Like I've never been to a tannery. Maybe somebody who's been to a tannery or works at a tannery would watch this and be like, oh my gosh, no girl, you're wrong. But anyways, yeah, so this is just how I think about this when I'm shopping. So I have here a sample book from Hide House. This is Timeless Collection. So I just thought this would be helpful to like demo. You too can order a sample book from Hide House and find this for yourself. But like, for the purposes of the video, this is their Da Vinci. Okay, this is Semi-Aniline, and when I hold it up, you can see, but like, so you see how like, compared to the other red one I just showed you, there's like a little bit of marking going on. That just has to do with the finish. And I think that's good for a bag because it's like, it still feels leathery, you know, but it's not, because you carry your bag every day. So, or ideally you do. And then here, this is aniline and or naked, right? You can tell I've done this before. So you get like some scratches and stuff, and like it does buff out. And that can be really nice on a bag too. Like, I definitely think aniline's really cool and has a place, and I might make bags with it someday also. So yeah, and then also within Chrome Tan, right, there are a whole bunch of other things you can do with it. Like, there are all kinds of like oil stuffed leathers and oiled after the fact leathers and glove tan and like all these terms. Just get samples from the place and call them up. I mean, I called Hide House and was like, I'm making bags. I think I ordered the wrong thing. Like, please help me. And they sent me like awesome things. And I've been making bags from the leather they sent me, and it's great. So this is something I don't prefer. I would say that this is a pull-up leather. I have bought purses on Etsy out of pull-up leather, not realizing what I was ordering. It is just not my aesthetic right now. Some people love it. But this is just sort of do you see, I don't know if it's gonna do it. When you are like working with this leather, it gets this gorgeous like patina going. And like when you pull on it, there are so many videos. I'm not gonna mess with this. Google pull-up leather. It's not my thing. It's really pretty. Okay. Let's talk about like the hide itself. Okay, there are lots of videos on that, but okay, parts of a hide. I got this in a sample box from American Leather Direct. They were really cool. I ordered a ton of Veg Tan samples from them before I realized that it's not my thing right now. Veg Tan is great. You can do a lot of things with it. It's just not where I'm at in my journey. So, I get by without, you know, that internet has that information available. So, all right. Types of leather. Full grain leather is like the top part of the hide. And then top grain leather is under it. And both of those are really good. And the way I remember that is that it makes no sense that the full grain is on top of the top grain. So there you go. And then you have like genuine leather, which you're getting into like things that you don't want to buy necessarily, but you buy what you want. Genuine leather is like not a great type of leather, but like here I am running around buying all this like pigmented leather. Like, I'm not sure. You do you until you're at a point where that's not for you anymore. And that's kind of where I'm at on my journey because I'm still learning. All right, and then there's bonded leather, which I think of as like plywood kind of, which may be like a wrong way to think of it. But I think of bonded leather as like you take a whole bunch of leather like scraps and then you like pulp it and then put it back together, like basically vinyl. Nobody wants that. Sorry to everyone who likes vinyl. Apologies. I just get frustrated when I like buy a bag and I carry it and then, you know, a year later it's peeling and it was expensive and yeah. So, okay. I think that's all I've got on Chrome Tan. Do you have anything on Chrome Tan?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. Right, Veg Tan. Okay, brief primer on Veg Tan. This is a sample from American Leather Direct. This is their natural holster strap. It is a 6/7 ounce sample. This is how vegetable tan leather comes a lot. Vegetable tan leather is more expensive. It takes longer to tan, to cure, whatever the word is. I'm sorry. You can wet this and you can carve it. You can mold it. If it's wet and you put it into a shape, it will hold the shape. You can stamp it, like if you get like a metal heart and it's wet and you know, hammer the heart into this, it'll hold the shape, it'll hold the heart. You can then, when you're done doing all this cool stuff with it, dye it. You can seal it. People spend a lot of time discussing burnishing, which is finishing the edges of it. Burnishing Chrome Tan is like almost like not a thing because it is so soft. And but I've seen videos on that, so I don't know. I don't do it. Right, so let's see. Okay, Veg Tan can come really thick. So here's a 9-10 ounce piece of Veg Tan. And if you want to buy something like this, this is the golden tooling strap. Some stores will split your Veg Tan. And so they have these machines where you're like, well, I really like this one, but I want it to be 5 ounce. And they'll like cut it for you. They'll send you both pieces. So you can like practice or do whatever you want with the other piece. Like if you ask. So ask them if they'll do that. And 2, ask to have it. Because why let good leather go to waste, right? On that note, I one time almost bought something called Veg Tan Moss Back Cow Split. Sorry, my kid. Okay, and I asked the seller, I was like, what is that? Moss back is the finish, and a split has suede on both sides, right? Because the split is when you split it, and then it's the under part that you're left with. The finish, the moss back finish, is sprayed on one side, providing a smooth side to the split. So that's fine if you understand that that's what you're buying. But if you don't understand that that's what you're buying, I would be sad. And that happened to me, I don't know if I talked about this in my last, I think I did. Yeah, just do your homework, make sure you're paying an appropriate price per square foot and getting like the kind of leather that you think you're getting, and try to support local stores, but at the same time, like I had a really bad experience one time. Anyway, okay, so I talked about in my last video my love of Chuck Dorset of Weaver Leather. Who doesn't love him? Oops, there goes the thing. Okay, so I have some notes. I'm just gonna throw in some like extra stuff from the last video that I didn't do. So what is an ounce of leather? We talked about that. Hand skiving. Okay, skiver. I bought this this hand skiver. There's a razor blade in there, and you can carefully thin the edge to make a nice finished edge on, you know, when you're sewing things together. That only really works on vegetable tan leather because Chrome Tan leather is soft. And so trying to hand skive something is going to be pretty miserable. I've heard of people using like a Dremel. or something to do, but really you want a bell skiver at that point. And a bell skiver is this handy dandy machine that will thin your edges for you. There's some really good videos on YouTube about that. So let's see. And yeah, I think that's everything. Let me know if you have any questions or if I'm like wildly off on any of this. Always verify what you see on the internet yourself, is my advice to you. Thanks.